Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Bannerlord Mods Weekly. The title says it all, but in this series, I'll be discussing some of the mods that have been released during the week for the recently released game Mount and Blade Bannerlord. I realize that the game might not have a huge following on my channel now, since there did not seem a huge interest in it, but I do hope that with this series I'll be able to pull in a few more fans of this franchise. For the first week, and probably the first month, the mods that will come out won't be anything that special, since the game has just been released and people will need more time to bring us the really big projects like total conversions. Nevertheless, there are some mods that have been released that are definitely worth a look to refine your Bannerlord experience. I'm not sure yet on how many mods I'm going to do each week. It also depends on how much comes out, but for now, I just picked a handful that piqued my interest. For the first mod of this week, we are going to take a look at a mod that changes something so slightly, but was present in the earlier games and even gets you a little bit extra here. With this mod, it is now possible to properly cheer after you and your army have won a battle. This might not seem like something that special, but it was an easy button prompt with the spacebar, which made you celebrate with everyone else, and though many of us did not feel the need to do it after every battle, it was quite satisfying to do so after fending off a really tough enemy or standing victorious over a large sprawling battlefield littered with corpses. But where the celebrating of one's victory was purely artificial in the first games, here you now get a morale boost to the army, which is always helpful of course. It feels natural since your army gets a morale boost anyway after winning a fight, and having their commander celebrate with them makes it just a bit more awesome. The next mod, and yes, most of the mods this week will kinda be in this caliber. Again, the game has only been out for 7 days, and there's only so much people can do, but the next mod is the Arena Experience mod. Fighting inside the arenas of big castle towns is amazing. It was amazing and thrilling in the first games, and is again thrilling and amazing in this one as well. Facing off against just a small group of opponents in the gladiatorial arenas while the crowds are cheering you on is a feeling few games can get right. Especially with some of the cities and arenas in this game resembling a more Roman or Greek aesthetic, the feelings of being a gladiator get pushed even more to the forefront. But it was therefore a bit of a letdown to some that in Bannerlord you don't get any experience for participating in the arena fights, unlike Vanilla and Warband. Now granted, the amount of experience you gained in those games during the arena fights were very small and often not enough to get you anywhere, but still, it was a nice incentive to motivate you even more to take some time to partake in these events. With this mod, this gets fixed, and participating in the arena fights now also hails some experience to level up your character. Next up, we have the Hideout Player Party Limit Remover. Again, a very straightforward mod of which the title says it all. Fighting at the hideouts is cool, and since it sometimes can feel like the epic conclusion of a quest chain, or simply a much welcome different scenery for an infantry-only battle. The problem is of course that you are only allowed to bring a small amount of units with you, which might not make sense if you have an entire army at your disposal. If the enemies you will be facing here are also very well equipped, and your men aren't, then you might be in trouble with how the rules are set up, where if you had 3 times the manpower, the equipment issue would not be that big of a deal. This mod simply removes the limitations and allows you to bring your army with you during these sections. It does make these sections then super easy, but it might feel a bit fairer to pull off a victory here if you spend so much time of assembling a large following. Then we have a simple mod that gives you a few more options on customizing your character during its creation. Though the character creation tool is fairly robust when it comes to making different types of shapes for the heads, it doesn't let you alter the body shape all that much besides the height. With this mod, you get a few more options to also adjust the build and more. Now there are even other customization mods that go a bit further and let you alter even more, but that goes more into adult-oriented stuff as well. This mod is safe to use and gives you just a few more options here and there. It isn't as expansive as something like a Black Desert Online character customization, but still, the extra options are a welcome addition. Speaking of the characters that are in the game, they aren't necessarily great lookers by any means. They lack any expression and look like first generation Xbox 360 characters, but in my opinion, it's still a huge step forward compared to the warband models. Though there are no mods yet available that give you entirely new models to replace the NPCs with, there does exist a mod that lets you replace them by a pre-made preset list to make sure they don't all look very weird and dead inside. In a way, some might even like the vanilla feel that this mod brings, since no crazy new hairstyles or face textures are used. There's not a whole bunch to be said about some of these mods that have come out, but again, it's only the beginning, so hopefully we will get more in-depth mods that change more drastic things within the next month. And much like there are mods that give you a few more options to change your character, there are of course also mods that let you have more options with creating the banner, most notably the color. Having custom banners was always a fun element that came with mods, both big and small. In mods that tackled the Star Wars universe, Lord of the Rings, or Game of Thrones, you really got a kick out of seeing all those famous emblems and markings that you could combine and create your very own banner with. This mod does not go that deep yet, but again, it adds some much needed color variety to give you a bigger mix and match opportunity than the vanilla version has. And besides customizing things like banners and characters, customizing the campaign perimeters can of course also be a nice addition. This type of freedom is often granted in the survival games like Ark Survival Evolved or Conan, but the open sandbox type gameplay of Bannerlord also fits this perfectly. The types of changes you can make does not increase all that much, but with the sliders, you can adjust the values more than with the vanilla options. You can adjust anything from experience increase to map speed, or damage taken by you and friendly troops. You can already adjust these in the vanilla game, but only have a handful of options, whereas these sliders go beyond the options you get presented normally. Hopefully we will get more freedom in the future to adjust certain things, but until then, we will have to make do with this. And then we have the final mod of the week, and that is the same-sex marriage mod. Now, I'm nowhere near a social justice warrior and don't necessarily think that everyone should be represented all the time in a property of a game or movie just for the sake of it. But since this is of course a fantasy-based setting, and as in it's not real, not fancy like Lord of the Rings, but I think it's fine. We all know that same-sex interactions were done in ancient Roman times too, and though there might be some who object the marriage thing, I say screw it and just do it if that's what you want. Again, to me and many others, it's just a small thing that won't really change the feel of the game at all, but that's unfortunately the reality and the problem that comes with the first week mods. It's that almost all of them don't really have that big of an impact. There are many cool mods that add a ton of new gameplay to the old vanilla games, with new quests, new diplomacy options, and more. So we will definitely see the expanse of the vanilla Bannerlord gameplay occur as well over the next coming weeks. And with that, the first Bannerlord's mods of the week is over, and I hope you all like this format. Again, I think it will take some time to pick up steam, but hopefully you will return to the channel next week to see what new mod content has come out for Bannerlord. I don't expect any shocking mods to be released in the next week, but at least some mods that have a bigger impact on the gameplay than the ones we talked about today. Thank you all for watching, and please let me know in the comments down below if a mod has come out that I should definitely check out and talk about. Stay safe everyone, and I will see you all next week. As a final note, I would like to all thank you again for watching, and would like to remind you guys to check out some of my other YouTube channels you can find in the description down below. I have various Let's Play channels, I have a gaming review channel, and I have a Star Wars Battlefront focused channel on which I upload videos too. If you'd like, then please go and check out some of the content I offer there, and if you want to see more, then please support me and subscribe to those channels. Thanks again.